Hi everybody in New York, this is Mr. Fox in Khartoum, and I just wanted to get you a little bit of information about what is happening with this election and why it's such a big deal. First of all, I will give you a visual aid. This is Sudan. Sudan is south of Egypt, largest country in Africa. Starts with the Sahara, ends up going into the Sahel, and then ends up becoming actually green and things farther to the south. It's very diverse, it has lots of different cultures, over 130 different languages. Sudan was once colonized by the Ottoman Empire through Egypt and then later through the British also. The Sudan was also the first country to ever get rid of the colonizers, a guy named the Mahdi, who was believed to be like a chosen one, ended up kicking out the British. They were able to keep them out for about 15 years, and then the British did come back in. This was about 110 years ago. Then by 1956, the British ended up giving Sudan its independence. The people who came in charge of Sudan at that time were the people from the north. The people from the north in this part of the country, they are largely Muslim. They are, while the people in the south are more different tribal religions, and they also are, some of them are Christians. Anyway, eventually the South got sick of this setup, and they ended up fighting against the North, trying to get more control over their lives and what was happening. Eventually there was a civil war that happened at different times throughout Sudan's history as an independent country, up till the most recent time of the Civil War, which was one of the longest civil wars in world history, lasting over 20-some years of fighting civil war between the North and the South. Basically, what was happening is the South didn't feel like they were being taken care of by the government in the North. Also, they felt like they were being persecuted by the government in the North when the government tried to impose Islamic laws on people that were not Muslims, and also Islamic laws on people that were not super strict Muslims. Anyway, Sudan had its last real free multi-party elections back in 1986. At that time, the prime minister of the country was a descendant of the Mahdi, called Sadiq al-Mahdi, and in 1989, and there was a president also called Nameri. In 1989, a man named Hassan al-Turabi, who was an Islamist, who really wanted to make very strict Islamic laws in the country, a guy named Turabi, ended up getting a colonel from the army named Omar al-Bashir, and he helped him to have a coup, kick out the president and put himself in charge. Turabi was kind of Bashir's mentor, and Bashir became the president, and Turabi became the prime minister. Eventually and they kicked out the other people, Sadiq al-Mahdi and everything. Anyway, then Sudan had a time period where they were really trying to be fiercely Islamic with Sharia law, and invited in people from Al-Qaeda and different stuff like that. The U.S. and others outside didn't really like that Al-Qaeda and bin Laden were here in Sudan, and so they pressured Sudan to tell them to kick them out. They left here and they went over to Afghanistan. Anyway, so moving forward, the Civil War has been going on for a while. Eventually, by 2005, the North and the South end up making a peace agreement.